Hello. It's good to see you. I'm going to reread the part. I read this already, but for some reason the audio was awful. I have had the worst luck in the last few weeks with audio and video issues. That's why I tell people if you want to be a content creator, you have to love it even when you hate it, because there have been days I wanted to just chuck everything out the window. I was just so frustrated. I have experimented with multiple microphones and several different webcams. Anyway, I have an all new kind of setup right now, and I'm just trying it out. So we're going to see how this sounds. Hopefully it sounds okay. I also got my hair done this evening after work. So I can show you my hair. It will never look like that. I can never get it to look the way my hairdresser does. She's just a magician. I don't know how she does it. I feel really bad for messing up this part last time because eventually I want to take all the audio from these segments and put it together in one big thing, maybe do part 1, part 2, and just have the audio only versions instead of having to watch the videos. So I really wanted the audio quality to be good, and of all the segments that I had to mess up, this was not the one to mess up, and I do apologize for for the audio being so terrible. I cleaned it up as much as I could. I thought it was going to be okay. It really was not okay, and I am sorry about that. I hope I didn't ruin anything for you, because, yeah, this is the very end of part 1, and this really needs to sound good. So eventually I want to take all the audio and put it into kind of like an audiobook kind of thing. I never did that with River Road, and I could, but it would be a real pain. But I'm going to do it with Holiday. After we're done reading it all, I'm going to take all the audio out of these segments. I'm saving them, and I'm going to take all the audio out and put it all together so you can, I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but I'm going to put it somewhere where you can access it so you can just listen to it. So I really need the audio to not sound like crap. Anyway, we are going to reread chapters 127 to 131, and that will take us to the very end of part 1. All right, I already read it, but it was terrible, so I just took that video down. This is we're redoing that part. Have I made that clear? I'm going to stop talking now. Well, I'm going to keep talking, but I want to read the story. I do want to mention before we get started, I mentioned it in the introduction video, but I want to mention it here. This segment that I'm about to read to you does feature a rather graphic depiction of someone taking their own life. So if that is something that would be a problem for you, I would advise you to skip this and not watch it. Just to let you know in advance, there is a description of an occurrence of that nature, so I just wanted to mention that before we proceed. Chapter 127. Fedra reappeared in Litty's room after leaving Aiden in the city swing. Litty was so startled to look up from her magazine and see her standing there that she let out a little yelp. "What's wrong?" Phaedra asked, tucking the broken crystal angel wing into her lab coat pocket. "Why did you jump and cry out? You weren't there a second ago. I didn't even hear you open the door." Phaedra looked at her sadly. "Litty, you said hello to me when I came in a few minutes ago." She sat down on the bed beside Litty. "I have some bad news." Litty laid the magazine on the bed. "Bad news? Like what? What happened?" "I'm afraid that after our unfortunate meeting with Jerry yesterday, he's decided to press charges against you after all." "But what does that mean for me?" Phaedra looked up at the ceiling and sighed. "It means prison, Litty." "Prison? For what? What the hell did I even do?" "We tried. That was all we could do." "Tried what? All we did was sit down in the cafeteria with him for about 2 minutes. Y'all asked me some questions that I didn't even know the answer to, and then he got up and left." Litty huffed. "So that's it? There's nothing you can do?" I went above and beyond to help you, Litty. I've put all my other work aside for 2 weeks just to try to help you. You don't even appreciate it." "I do, but to say—" "It's over," Phaedra said. "You refuse to accept responsibility for the things you've done. You won't apologize. You brought this on yourself." "I acknowledged everything I could remember. I swear. Jerry said something about me doing something to his Humvee. I truly have no memory of doing anything to it, that or any of his other vehicles. She reached for Phaedra's hand, but Phaedra pulled away. You have to believe me. Phaedra stood up. I don't have to do anything, she said. All I've sacrificed and all I've tried to do. She shrugged. It was all for nothing. I realize that now. Litty stood up and tried to grab Phaedra's hand again, but Phaedra swatted her hand away. We're done, Phaedra said. We'll be doing an exit session later today. After that, you'll be looked after by staff doctors. Litty began to cry. She slumped back down on the edge of her bed. Prison, she said. I'm going from here to prison. Oh, no, Phaedra said matter-of-factly. There will be at least a couple of court dates in between, so you'll have that to look forward to. I have nothing to look forward to, Litty muttered. I have nothing. That's it. I have nothing. Phaedra felt the smoothness of the angel wing in her pocket. She ran her index finger along the broken edge. Do you really feel like you have nothing? She asked Litty. Litty looked up. I'm losing my mind, she said. And now you're saying I'm going to prison for the stuff I did? How am I ever going to get back to a normal life from here? I'm not capable of it. Everything I thought was true wasn't. She rested her elbows on her knees and looked down at the floor. So yeah, I have nothing. Phaedra pulled the broken piece of crystal out of her pocket and handed it to Litty. Litty took it and turned it over in her hands, looking at it. What's this? It's a gift. A goodbye gift from me to you. I don't get it. It's broken off of something. Litty held it up to the light for a moment and inspected it. It's a broken wing. Sharp, too. She gestured to the broken edge. You keep that. It's the broken wing of an angel. It'll remind you of our time together. They'll take it away once you're locked up, but you can enjoy it until then. I mean, thank you, but what am I supposed to do with it? Phaedra stopped for a moment, picking up on something happening at Jerry's apartment. A sense of urgency took hold of her. You just keep that, she said. She held Liddy's gaze. The angel with the broken wing. Huh, that's you. She turned and walked toward the door. Don't forget about our exit session later, she said over her shoulder as she opened the door and walked out. She locked the door before leaving. Chapter 128. Aiden and Clare appeared in a hallway at Moses Cone Hospital. Clare looked around. What are we doing here? Liddy's here. This is the 5th floor. Do you know where to go? Aiden was still holding her hand. Do you have a sense of where she might be? I still can't see her. Clare started walking down the hall, pulling Aiden. I feel like we need to go this way. They moved down the hall, and Clare jerked to a stop outside of one of the doors lining the hallway. There's somebody in there, she whispered. Do you feel it? Aiden nodded and opened the door. They were both shocked to see Denali sitting in the corner. He was still in the janitor's closet where Phaedra had left him. Look at that, Aiden said, disgusted, looking at Liddy's bracelet wrapped around Denali's wrists. He let go of Clare's hand, unwrapped the bracelet, kissed it, and put it in his pocket. Denali sat straight up and looked back and forth at both of them. That's not who I expected, Clare said. Denali stood up slowly. Where am I? What am I doing here? Aiden took his hand. We don't know. Do you remember anything? Denali thought for a minute. No, I don't know how I got here. Come on, Clare said. Let's keep moving. Where are we going? Denali asked. Aiden was the middle link in the chain, holding both Clare's hand and Denali's. He was finally feeling like himself again. Something's happened to Litty, he said. Jerry said she was here. They continued down the hall, and they all suddenly stopped in front of another door. Aiden and Clare looked at each other. There, Clare said. She reached for the doorknob with her free hand and found it locked. We'll just go in, Denali said. Aiden frowned. We don't know who's in there. What's going on? Claire stared at the door. I can see her. She's lying down on a bed. Her back's to the door. Aiden looked at the keypad on the wall next to the door. Why would she be locked in there? I have no idea, Claire said, but we're going in. She pulled hard on Aiden's hand and yanked herself, Aiden, and Denali through the door and into the room. Litty felt a shift in the energy in the room and rolled over. Seeing the three of them there caused her to jump up off the bed and back away as fast as she could, screaming, "No!" She pressed herself into the corner of the room farthest away from them, her back to the wall. "Go away," she yelled. "You're not real." Claire, Aiden, and Denali all watched her, unaware of the reason for her behavior. "It's me," Aiden said. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long." He thought for a moment. "I don't even know how long I've been gone." "Litty, I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you." Litty shut her eyes tight and covered her ears. "Go away!" Claire looked at Aiden. "This is bad." "Litty," Aiden said, "how did you end up here? What happened?" Liddy's knees buckled and she slid down the wall. She sat down on the floor, knees to chest, and didn't respond. "I'd offer her my Garfield if I had it," Claire said softly. Aiden let go of Claire and Denali's hands. "It's okay," he whispered to them. He cautiously took a few steps forward. Claire moved over and took Denali's hand. He leaned on her. Litty had her knees pulled up to her chest and her head resting on her knees. She looked up and saw Aiden approaching, and she threw one of her slippers at him. "Get away from me!" She looked around the room. Doc, help me! Come back!" Chapter 129. Fedra returned to the rooftop of Jerry's building and immediately checked the swing. She had a sense that something was happening. Aiden was gone. She found Jerry in the kitchen of his apartment. His head was wrapped in a blood-soaked bandage, and he was drinking a beer. He stood up from his bar stool when he saw her. "Where the hell were you?" he shouted. "I damn near died." "Where is he?" "Are you listening? He said he was going to stop my heart and take me straight to hell. You've got to do something. Tell me where he is." Jerry set his beer down and approached her, fear in his eyes. "You'll save me, right? That's what you said. You said you could keep me out of—" "Shut up!" Jerry looked at her confused. "But you promised you'd save me. You remember what you said? You've got to." She grabbed his arms just below the shoulders, and he winced at her strength. "You didn't tell him where he is," she snarled. "Did you?" "He busted a window on me. Look at my head. He would have killed me if I hadn't told him." Her hands grew hot as she gripped Jerry even tighter. He tried to get away, but she held on. "You're burning me," he shouted. She glared at him. "Useless piece of shit," she said, and vanished. Chapter 130. Fedra appeared back at the hospital in the hallway in front of Liddy's door. She heard people talking inside and immediately recognized Aiden's voice. "Shit," she whispered. "Shit!" She calmed herself, then punched in the code to open the door. Two others that she didn't expect faced her when she entered the room. Claire and Denali had turned toward the door when they heard the sound of the keypad, and they gasped when they saw who it was. Aiden was so focused on Litty that he only looked back after hearing Claire and Denali's reaction. "Fedra," he whispered. "Oh." Litty glanced at Fedra. "Doc!" she yelled. Before Fedra could decide how to handle the situation, Claire and Denali each grabbed one of her arms, still holding hands themselves. The sight of it made Aiden briefly think of the child's game Ring Around the Rosie. Fedra couldn't overpower the two of them so easily, but she was trying to break free of their grip. "Litty," she said, trying to sound calm, "tell me what you see." Aiden looked back at Litty. Litty tried to ignore him. "I don't see anything," she said. "Then why are you over there crouched on the floor?" Aiden scoffed. He approached the circle of Claire, Denali, and Fedra. He pulled Liddy's bracelet out of his pocket, kissed it, and wrapped it around Fedra's neck. She fell to the floor, limp and lifeless. I'm not seeing this, Litty whispered to herself. This isn't real. Aiden turned back to Litty and took a few steps toward her. He then had a thought and looked back at Clare and Denali. Can you please take her outside? He said. I'd like a minute alone. Litty sprang up from the floor and made a run for the open door, but Aiden caught her as gently as he could. She fought against him. Clare and Denali dragged Fedra out into the hallway and closed the door. Aiden held Litty in his arms as she fought back, kicking and pulling, trying to get her hands free. Litty, please listen to me, he said. You're not real, Litty said, still fighting. Let me go. How can I hold you if I'm not real? They heard a thud, like someone kicking the door. The lights flickered. They can't hold her forever, Aiden said. She's stronger here than we are. Litty, he tried to catch her eye as she continued to struggle. That's why I couldn't see you. That's why we had so much trouble. It was all her. Litty tried to kick him hard in the leg. Let me go. Will you listen to me if I do? No, but... Litty wrenched her arm out of his grip and he released her. At least stop hurting me, she said, looking at her arm, which was red and blotchy from his tight hold. Aiden stayed back and looked around the room. It was very bare. How long have you been in here? He asked quietly. Litty turned and walked back to the corner. She sat down, pulled her knees to her chest, and put her head down on her folded arms on top of her knees. You don't believe I'm real, Aiden said. You're not, she replied without looking up. He walked over to her and knelt down in front of her. I have a confession, he said with a weak smile. I don't know how to fix this. They heard another thud against the door and muffled voices. I don't know how, Aiden continued, but I have to do something. He took Litty's hand. She tried to pull it back, but he refused to let go. She looked up at him. I know, he said. She's convinced you that I'm not real. I am real, Litty. Fedra's what you might call a good angel. She has her reasons for being here and for interfering in our time together. She lied to you. You're not imagining things. He kissed her hand, and she felt an electric pulse shoot up her arm. You're very special to me, Litty, he continued. I hoped to tell you how I feel while I was here, but nothing ever seemed to go right. He let out a quick, frustrated laugh. I know you noticed that. Litty looked up, stone-faced, and shook her head. It's all in my mind, she said, but her lower lip started to quiver. I made it all up because my life was so empty. I made you up. Aiden took her hand and placed it on his chest. Feel my heart, he said. She felt a warmth and the beating of a heart, and she shook her head again. It only beats for you, he said. I know that sounds corny, but it's true. It does. I love you, Litty. Something crashed outside in the hall, and the door vibrated for a moment. Aiden moved in closer to Litty. Remember that night we went skating? You asked me to say something in my language, and I did. I said I was reading off your grocery list, but that wasn't true. I was afraid to tell you what I really said, what I really felt. I thought it was too soon. I'm not afraid anymore. Litty stopped trying to pull her hand away and thought about that blank grocery list in her kitchen. Tell me what you said. He grabbed her other hand and held both of them. In my wildest dreams, he said, you always play the hero. In my darkest hour of night, you rescue me. You save my life. A tear rolled down Liddy's cheek. That doesn't make sense, she said. I've never rescued you or done anything for you. Oh, yes, you have. Thousands of years. What? The door flew open. Fedra was standing there with Denali doing his best to hold her. Clare lay motionless on the floor in the hallway behind them. Aiden glanced back. You can stop her, he said to Litty. Stop her? Fedra glared at the two of them. Litty, she said, this isn't real. Look at what you've done. Look at all the damage you've caused. She's not human, Aiden said. She's no doctor. She has no power over you no matter what she says. Claire slowly got up on her feet. She grabbed the bracelet and came up behind Fedra, wrapping it back around her neck. Fedra fell over sideways, nearly hitting her head on Litty's bed frame. Aiden, come on, Claire said. Denali nodded at Aiden. I have to leave, he said. Yeah, Claire muttered. It's my lunch hour. Go ahead, Aiden said to Denali. Are you sure you can handle this? Aiden nodded. Just go. They're looking for you. Denali vanished without another word. Litty looked up at Claire and then back at Aiden. I have no idea. Who is that? Claire looked down at Fedra to make sure she wasn't moving and then approached Aiden and Litty. I'm Claire, she said with her eyes gleaming. She tentatively extended her hand and pulled it back in. I know all about you. She glanced at Aiden. From him, I mean, he goes on and on about you. But, you need to go, don't you? Aiden asked. I really do. I left a jerk in charge. Go on. Thank you. Hey, can you bring me my book and my Garfield? I have some bags of stuff at the Angry Aardvark, too. I'll get it, Aiden said. Okay. Claire backed away a few steps, bowed slightly, and gave Litty a wink. See you later, she said, and disappeared. She's like you, Litty stammered. Yes, she is. Oh, God. Litty pulled her hands away and rubbed her face. This is too much. I'm inventing new angels now. Litty, no. Fedra flipped over on the floor and groaned. She started wildly grabbing at her throat. I can't fight her by myself, Aiden said. Litty, I need you to make a choice. Do you want to help me take her down, or do you want to stay out of it? Take her down? What the hell do you mean? Fedra caught hold of the bracelet and pulled it hard, breaking it. It fell away from her neck, and she got up on her feet. She turned to face Aiden and Litty. You bitch! She screamed, and she ran 2 steps before Aiden grabbed Litty's hand and flung his free hand in Fedra's direction, sending out a wave of force that was strong enough to knock her flat on her back. Bitch, Litty whispered. Aiden looked at her. You have to choose, Litty. Do you want to help me? Litty blinked hard and furrowed her brow. It really is you, she said. And she's been following me. I have seen her everywhere since you got here. Fedra was once again fighting to get up. Litty, we don't have much time. I'll do it. He smiled. It'd be my pleasure, she said. Just tell me what I have to do. Aiden's smile faded. That's the hard part, he said. We can't fight her here. Here? What do you mean, in the hospital? Fedra sat up. Aiden grabbed Litty's hand and sent another wave of force over and knocked her back to the floor. How are you doing that? Litty asked. Listen, Litty, this is going to sound crazy, and there's no good way to say it. If you want to help me defeat her, you have to die. Litty pulled her hand away. I have to die? Oh, hell no. It's not forever. I'll bring you back once it's over. We just can't fight her here with the way things are. So what, do you want to kill me? No, I can't kill you. Bullshit. You kill people all the time. I've seen it. That's other people, Aiden said, not you. Are you saying you won't do it? I can't, Aiden said. But I have to die. Fedra rolled over onto her side. Aiden watched her. You have to do it, Aiden said. What, kill myself? Litty shook her head. She stood up and walked toward the door. No way. Forget it. Fedra opened her eyes and looked at Litty. Coward, she managed to say. Bitch. Litty pointed at her. What is her problem? Why the hell does she hate me so much? Aiden stood up and walked over to Litty. There's no time to explain it all, he said. He looked over at Litty's bed. A shiny object caught his eye. He walked over and picked up the broken crystal angel wing. I remember this, he said, holding it up to look at it. She gave it to me, Litty said. I'll bring you back, Aiden said very firmly. You'll have no memory of any of this. I'll put your life back to where it was before I came back into it and screwed it all up. Don't do that, Litty said, stepping over Fedra's legs to get to him. It wasn't all bad. I've loved being with you. I don't want to forget everything. Aiden handed her the broken wing. It'll be quick, he said. I promise I'll be with you every step of the way. Litty looked at the piece of glass. What do I do? She said, more of a statement than a question. Sit down. They sat down together on the edge of her bed. Aiden pulled her shirt sleeves back on her wrists. He lightly traced his finger down the inside of both of her forearms. Cut lengthwise, down both of your wrists. Litty was shaking. I want you to do it. She nearly dropped the piece of crystal. Why do I have to do this? Fedra sat up and tried to take the wing from Litty. Aiden grabbed Liddy's hand before reaching out to strike Fedra back down to the floor. Why do you keep grabbing me? Litty asked. Come on, Aiden said. He put his arms around her. I'm right here. I'll be right here with you. Tears were streaming down Liddy's face. Tell me where you're taking me. I'm taking you home, Litty. To my house? No, Aiden said, tears in his eyes. We're going home. God, she said over and over. She dragged the sharp edge of the broken wing down one wrist, bearing down hard, and then the other. Blood spilled down from her arms to her legs and then onto the bed and the floor. The color drained away from her face. She turned to see Aiden there. He held her face in his hands and kissed her. Her whole world disappeared in a blinding light. Chapter 131. Liddy's body fell back onto the bed. With a slight crackling and popping sound, her spirit left the body through the top of her head. Aiden reached out and grabbed her before she went through the wall. He pulled her spirit in close to his chest and smiled. Gotcha. She looked around the room, then down at her body. Who's that? She asked. There's so much blood. It's time to go, Aiden said. He looked back at Fedra. We'll be back. Litty held on to Aiden and buried her face in his chest. I'm ready, she whispered. And that is the end of part 1. And part 2 going forward will be very different from anything that we have read thus far. But that is the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And I will start with part 2 next time. Part 2, chapter 1. Hope you have a good day. I'll see you again soon.